I didn't think we would be making this video, but it was highly requested from our last video in the comment section. A lot of people wanted to know, how did we sleep train, no cry method?
Without crying.
How did we do it? And why is it so controversial? I don't know. Let us know in the comments why you hate this method. Fight in the comments.
Fight in the comments about it. It's a little ironic that we are making this video today because we're all a little bit sleep deprived.
Yes. This method works 7 times out of 10.
Which,
Last night was a 3 of 10.
Why I want to start the video with realistic expectations, because I feel like that's what I ran into when I first started looking into sleep training, because I am not from a family who did any type of sleep training at all, so this was completely new to me. Sleep training is not going to turn your baby into a robot that's just going to sleep perfectly all night long for every nap. They're still humans and they still are going through stuff and they're growing and they're teething, and so I definitely think before you get started, have a clear idea of what you're trying to accomplish through sleep training, because there's a lot of different methods, there's a lot of different ideas of even what sleep training looks like. We had specific goals in mind, and I think it could get very frustrating and confusing if you don't really know what you're trying to accomplish. The first thing is probably surprising to some people, because this is like not necessarily a crunchy thing to do, and that is I didn't really want to co-sleep full time. I have nothing against neither of us have anything against co-sleeping. I think it's perfectly safe and wonderful thing to do, but I do not sleep well when he's in the bed with me.
Yes.
Like I just don't get good sleep.
Wanted to avoid that.
And it also turned out that that's just something we needed, because I didn't know that I was gonna be like exclusively pumping for a little while, and it just would not have worked if we had not done that. Although we do co-sleep sometimes when we want to, but
yeah, or if he's not feeling well, or if for some reason he's not sleeping well, you know, the method that we used, it varied a lot because he's a human being, you know what I mean? We didn't just force him to do certain things, so that's.
But I didn't want him to be us all to be able to sleep independently.
Yes.
The second thing I wanted to be able to have nap times free to do what I need to get done or to rest. Like, I was just not someone who wanted to do contact nap for every nap. I don't know how people get things done when they contact nap for every nap. Again, I needed that. I didn't know that I was going to need that time to pump, but I needed that time to pump, so very, very happy that was one of our goals. I wanted an easy bedtime. Growing up, I always thought that it was hard to get babies to sleep. Like, that's just what it was. And when I heard that it was possible to have a baby that liked to sleep and that you could just like lay them down and they would happily put themselves to sleep, I was like, what? Like, what kind of magic is that? Like, that's not real. But it turns out it actually is definitely possible. And the most important thing is I wanted to have some control over our day. I didn't want to feel like every day was just chaos.
Even though we have some rough days, like last night, we were up every 45 minutes the entire night. Generally, it works out.
Yeah, that's
well.
Not the normal for us. That's not the norm. He's just going through a little something right now. He rarely ever fusses or cries. But when he does, generally we know exactly what's wrong.
Right.
And that's another thing that has been specific to like how we have sleep trained him, that we just know what he needs. And we also can know like almost down to the minute when he's gonna get sleepy.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah,
but that's basically in a nutshell. Some things to keep in mind, and then also just some benefits we've had. Now,
before we get into exactly what we did, Owen changed clothes. He'll be back in his other clothes in a minute, don't worry. No, I wanted to tell you about our beloved sponsor, Helix, and the amazing sale that they're having right now.
Owen's excited.
It's happening only for a limited time, so it's the perfect time to upgrade your mattress. Visit helixsleep.com/Jordan Taylor to get more information. You know, 2024 was not the best time for sleep for us for obvious reasons, Owen. A New Year's resolution that we both share, but sleep is definitely on that list, and Helix, who has been with us through the ups and downs of our sleep journey this year, they've always been with us. They are absolutely helping us this year with that resolution. Helix is a premium mattress in a box company that makes mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your unique needs, directly shipped right to your door. And unlike other brands, Helix mattresses do not contain fiberglass, which can be very harmful to your health. The Helix lineup offers 20 unique mattresses, including their award-winning Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite collections, the Helix Plus, a mattress designed for big and tall sleepers, and the Helix Kids mattress designed for growing bodies and endorsed by child sleep and medical experts. The Helix Kids mattress is particularly awesome because you can flip the mattress to fit the child at the different times in life that they need different firmnesses. It's amazing. You're going to be getting one of those in the future. Everybody's different, and Helix knows that, so they created a sleep quiz that matches your unique body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Sarah and I could not agree on which mattress we wanted to get because we're both slightly different sleepers. You know, I'm a stomach sleeper, she is a side sleeper, and we like slightly different firmnesses of mattresses, okay? But we took the sleep quiz together as a couple, and we were matched with the Helix Sunset Luxe mattress, and it truly changed our lives. The best part about all of this is that Helix delivers your mattress right to your door, and in the US, it's even free delivery. It just comes rolled up in a box, and it's super easy to set it up yourselves. If it makes you nervous to buy something online that you haven't really tried yet, honestly, that's kind of how I am. There's no need to worry because they have a 100-night sleep trial, so that's more than 3 months to make sure that you love it. Plus, Helix mattresses have a 10-year warranty, and they even offer financing options and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. We love our Helix mattress, and we really think that you will too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out Helix. Their New Year's final hour sale is running right now for a limited time, and it's a great time to upgrade your mattress. Visit helixsleep.com/Jordan Taylor to get 20% off your mattress, plus 2 free pillows. Ring in the new year with Helix Sleep. It's the perfect way to kick it off. There is no better time than right now.
So the first thing we did was we started from birth. I feel like that made a difference. Obviously, you can start sleep training at any time, and different people are going to have different ideas of what is the perfect age to start sleep training. I think starting from birth just made it a very easy transition, and just like they're learning. Babies are learning as soon as they're born, and so he just learned that this is how things were. And so I think that was a lot, like, that made it no cry. Honestly,
yeah,
it's a very slow process the way that we did it, because we didn't want to leave him to cry, and we have never let him to cry. So the first thing we did, we started from birth, and we read the book Baby Wise. I really like this book.
Controversial book.
Apparently it's controversial. People hate this book. I think the people who hate it have never read it, because
it was very general. It wasn't like, do this no matter what. That's what you were saying. It is
not like a step-by-step sleep training guide. It is very much like, you're the parent, here's information to help you make decisions, but you're in charge. Get to know your baby. Have a healthy home environment. I really liked the book, and I think that it really helped. So if you're looking for like a step-by-step, do this ABC, that's not what it is. But I thought it had a lot of really good concepts in it. And the biggest thing about Baby Wise is it's just a daytime routine of eat, play, sleep. And so you're separating that eating from the sleep. And I was very strict with this in the very beginning, and I think that that was a really crucial thing. And then also just knowing that sleep training does not start when you're putting your baby to bed. It's
too late at that point.
It's too late at that point, yeah.
If you've just thought about it.
It's too late. And so, really, this is, I feel like, the magical, untalked about part of sleep training is like, forget this is the bedtime. Focus on as soon as they wake up, the daytime. Because if you think about babies as just human beings, like, if you're not tired or you're hungry or you're uncomfortable, you're going to have trouble sleeping. Same thing with babies. So the concept is make sure they're comfortable, make sure they're fed, and make sure that they are adequately tired but not overtired. And so it has to do a lot with just knowing, like, age-appropriate wake times, and we used the Huckleberry app to help us keep track of wake times.
Great app. I wish there was an affiliate link.
I know, right?
Do we have one?
I don't think so. I know, I wish that we could.
Because we actually pay for that.
Yeah, we did pay for it. They've got like the free version, they've got the mid-grade, and then they've got like the top, and I got the mid-grade, and that's been pretty perfect for us. And I think both of us never thought we'd be the type of people who'd have like a baby app. I don't know.
I'm making fun of people who do that, but
I was like,
you realize
who needs
now.
that? I mean, you can do all of it in your head without an app, but like, who wants to do that? Now that I've used the app, I'm like, this
let's
is so
put
nice.
it this way, okay? You don't realize the power of millions of people using an app and the data that comes with that. How they know precisely, literally to the second almost.
When
like
he's gonna get
they're
tired.
Like, he's gonna get tired at
1:20.
at 10:13, and you're like, sure, he looks totally fine. He's not gonna be. 10:13 on the dot, he is wailing,
he's
and you're
tired.
like, shoot, I should have been
And
prepared for this.
I missed
I paid for the app. It told me.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It really is scary accurate, probably 95% of the time. But just to reiterate, like, sleep training starts during awake hours. Like, if you don't do that, the actual bedtime is just not gonna be good. And in fact, it doesn't even feel like sleep training at that point, because sometimes when they're just ready to sleep and they're comfortable and they're fed, they just go to sleep and you're like, what did I do? It just worked. It just happened. Another thing we do is we cap all naps at a max of 2 hours. And I have, again, I've done this since birth. He used to, pretty much like clockwork, when he was a newborn, he would take 2-hour naps all day long. Like, he'd be, awake for an hour, 15 minutes.
He really was like a robot.
Oh my gosh, it was so nice, because he literally, it was on the dot. It was just perfect. And then as he grows, things get a little bit more complicated, but still to this day, and he usually does not sleep for the full 2 hours every 4 naps, but every once in a while he'll get tired. Like this morning, he slept for 2 hours, and I do wake him up at the 2-hour mark, because if he sleeps all day, he's not going to be tired at night. And so that is something you do need to manage.
Yeah.
Just not let your baby sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep, unless they're like sick or something like that. But when they're well, you want to kind of manage their daytime sleep so that they're tired at night and can sleep at night. Oh, are you getting bored?
I'm bored. You want to go in your bouncer? You can keep talking.
Once he hits 6 months, he's busy. Okay, so another thing that we did, and this isn't really something, I don't really know how I started doing this, but I just worked to, I know we both knew that we did not want to have him cry. And so I just worked to build a positive association with sleeping independently. And I did this very slowly and in a very relaxed manner. So what I do, I started this about 2 weeks old, maybe even a little bit before that. It was very, very early. And the goal at first was just to get him used to being in his sleep environment. So that was the bassinet. And so you would pick like a nap time where he was happy, and there was nothing like weird was going on. He wasn't overtired. And I would just place him, I would do, all the things to get him tired and ready for bed. And then I would place him in the bassinet, and then I would just very hands-on help him try to fall asleep. And if it ever got to the point where it was like escalating and he was crying or getting upset, I would take him out and not work on it anymore. Yeah. But as long as he would tolerate it, then I would just help him without picking him up, pat him, shush him, however it would soothe him in the bed to get him just like used to, oh, this is where I sleep. I'm not alone. If I wake up here, I know where I am. And he didn't even necessarily, in those early days, I didn't even expect him to actually fall asleep. I mean, even just if I could get him to close his eyes, that was like a good training session. Just to get him comfortable. And I just kept working on that. And I would not do this at bedtime. Because if you wait until, again, like everybody's tired and wanting to go to bed, that's not the right time. I would pick like a low pressure nap during the day to do this. And I might try it a couple times.
You okay? Okay.
And I would try it a couple times a day. And then I would just like keep working on that and keep until eventually he would start falling asleep while I was doing that. And it would work that way until finally I could lay him down tired, like drowsy but awake. If you've ever looked into sleep training, you're gonna hear lay them down, drowsy but awake. That, I was so confused by that at the beginning because it did not work. If you just start doing that right off the bat, they will cry and they will not be happy. But how I did it in a slow way, just kind of making him feel comfortable in his bed, it eventually, as he got older, it started kind of working. So that's how we did that to avoid any crying. Another thing we did is we followed a consistent bedtime routine. And it does not have to be complicated. For naps, our like pre-nap routine is literally just put him on the potty or change his diaper. We do the potty, but I do that, and then sometimes I'll take him into the bedroom where he sleeps, and I will like tell him like, we're getting ready to go to bed. I will close the curtains, turn on his sound machine, then I'll put him in his sleep sack, and then I'll rock him a little bit, and that's how he knows that he's going to sleep. So it's really, really simple. It's really, really short. I usually start that about 15 or so minutes before he needs to be asleep, so he has time to wind down. And then bedtime, again, it's pretty simple. I don't like read a bunch of books. Maybe we'll get there eventually when he gets a little bit older. But right now, I just do one other step, and I rub magnesium lotion on his little feet, give him a little foot massage.
He loves that so much.
I put some castor oil on his belly, and that's really the only difference between nap time and bedtime.
Yeah. And he knows the difference. He gets very excited when you do that.
For him, nighttime, bedtime, so easy. Naps are usually if there's gonna be like something.
Okay.
Oh no.
You need to get out?
You're so busy. You're just learning, aren't you? Come here.
That's okay.
Yeah. And then we just try to stay consistent as possible, even through like off times when he's going through something like this or a sleep regression or teething or something like that. We just try to keep it as consistent as possible, but then also just don't stress about when you have to switch things up. It's gonna happen, and I think I stressed about that I was gonna like ruin everything if I changed things up too much. But then I realized it's gonna be fine. Like if we need to put him in the bed with us for a night, it doesn't ruin his ability to independently sleep. So I have like lowered my stress about that kind of stuff a lot. I just try to make sure that I am not building unwanted habits by not doing something 3 times in a row. So say I hold him for a nap because he just needs some extra like cuddles. I'll do that, but I'll try not to do it for 3 naps in a row. Like by the 2nd or 3rd nap, I'm gonna at least try to put him in his bed for a little while, even if halfway through he wants out and wants to still cuddle. I'll still, like let him know this is not the new normal. Like you're still gonna sleep in your bed, but if he needs me, then I don't stress about it. That's basically it. Just kind of building that positive association with his bed, because now he's like happy to be in his bed.
Yeah, and it's not that this is the funny thing. He is an extremely cuddly baby, but he still loves his bed. He loves being alone in his bed. And if we try and wake him up, if we, like, say we need to do something and we need to wake him up and he's been asleep for an hour and 30 minutes and he needs to sleep for 2 hours, but we're like, oh, we need to go
somewhere.
He'll wake up and he'll just look at you and he'll just turn over to go back to sleep. Like he doesn't want to be picked up, doesn't want to be held.
Yeah, even sometimes like in the or he'll wake up kind of early in the morning sometimes, and he'll just be babbling and laughing in his bed, which keeps me awake because if he's awake in his bed, I can't sleep. But sometimes I'm like trying to not get up and get him because he's just happy.
He might do that for an hour.
Yes, and I like the other day I was like, I was like I cannot go back to sleep, and so I was like I'm just gonna get him up, and he didn't really want me to get him up.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not ready.
It's
he
cute.
was having a good time. And so he really loves being in his bed. He does not see it as a punishment or anything like that of like where, oh, I have to be here because no one's going to come get me. No, he knows where you will come get him if he cries. But sometimes he's comfortable in there. It's like a safe space for him.
So finally, does Baby Wise, because I think people are scared of Baby Wise because Baby Wise allegedly says, let your baby cry in bed. Does Baby Wise say that?
Baby Wise does not say that. In fact, Baby Wise...
So where did that come from?
Baby Wise, I don't know. Baby Wise says that some crying is okay, which...
leads to the internet saying...
Babies cry.
Yeah.
So basically what Baby Wise is saying is Baby Wise says that the cry it out method is extreme. But they also say that like you don't have to run to your baby every time they make a beep. So they're like, it's okay to pause, which I guess that's something else that we do.
Yeah.
Is if he like cries out, we never let him cry, but we do pause before we rush to go get him. And sometimes babies like will sometimes like cry out in their sleep, and then I'll want to like jump up and get him, but I'll pause and I'll like check to see what he's doing, and most of the time he's back asleep before I can even get out of bed. And so we'll always pause and wait in to see, is he going back to sleep or is it escalating? So that's something Baby Wise tells you to do, is like pause, see, do they really need you, or are they actually okay and they're just being noisy babies?
Yeah.
And
he is a noisy baby.
Surprisingly, like there are some times when he has like shrieked like something was wrong, and he was actually asleep. Like he wasn't even awake.
That was crazy.
And so we always pause before we run and get him, and I think that's been really helpful because I think a lot of times we would have just been waking him up.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that I feel like I said, I in the beginning I was like really stressed out that I was gonna like ruin everything, but there's been some major rules that we've actually broken, and it still worked out really well for us. But there's also some things I'd probably do differently.
The main thing is that you nurse him to go to sleep.
Yeah, so
which is like a no-no.
Eat, play, sleep is what we started with, and I was very strict with that in the beginning, and I think that was really important. But somewhere along the lines, we've had so many issues with breastfeeding and him eating that I was like, well, maybe before a nap is a nice low pressure time to like practice him breastfeeding. And I always meant to like leave a space between him eating and falling asleep. And it just kind of slid into feeding him to sleep. And I think if I were to do this again, I would be careful not to create that habit. Right. Because I think it has kind of made his naps sometimes a little bit more difficult. But even though like I feed him to sleep part of the time, there are still times when he can still independently fall asleep. Like sometimes that's what he wants to do. Like I was nursing him the other day, expecting him to fall asleep, and he did it. When I got up to put him in bed, he was like laughing, and I was like, okay, I guess we're going to bed this way. And I went in, I told him, okay, it's time to go to bed. I put him in bed, and he laughed in bed, like literally laughed for about 20 minutes. And then put himself to sleep when he was ready to. And so I was like, okay, I'm not ruining anything. Like he's still fine. He's still happy to fall asleep independently. But I don't regret it. It's still working for us. And then another thing that we did a little bit differently, like everyone told me, everyone told me have a designated wake up time, like get them up in the morning and have a designated bedtime. And we stuck to the designated bedtime, and that worked really well for him. But for a while, I was tired. And so if he wanted to sleep in for another hour, I finally was like, you know what? We're just sleeping in. And I wouldn't change that. It still worked still worked well for us. I think having that designated wake up time helps you with more of like a predictable, like, oh, his first nap is always gonna be at 9 o'clock, which we don't really have that, but I don't really mind. Like we just go off of whenever he wakes up, and then his wake window after that, then that's when his next nap is, and that works for us. And so
that's pretty much it.
So
if y'all have any, we should probably end this because he's about to lose his mind. I think he's hungry. But if you guys have any questions, comment down below, message us on Instagram or whatever. I'll put our Instagrams up on the screen. And thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this method works for you guys, really worked for us. A schedule is freedom. If you don't have a schedule in your life, you guys know this. We all know this instinctively. That's when you feel the most confused and frustrated and like a slave to I don't know what. But when you have a schedule and you have like a plan, that's when you're the most free in your life. So that's a little philosophical thing for the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you later.